All right, 1 2 1 2. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing out there? Frank Red, locked in the dungeon on a late night tip, following the Golden State Warriors overtime loss to the OKC Thunder, 130 to 123. And I was enthralled, like many Warrior fans, I'm sure, about the way they were playing and the prospects of them breaking their 5-game losing streak. Everything was going well. The great Steph Curry had came back after missing a couple of games after, I guess, right knee soreness, and he was solid. Steph immediately made this team look different and formidable, and shot 50% from three-point range, was making a lot of plays. I would say Stephen Curry played probably as well as Steve Kerr and his teammates and the fans had hoped that he would. And yeah, things were looking good. The Warriors were up as many as 18, 19 points. And in the third quarter, the game was lost in the third quarter. The Warriors lose 130 to 123 in overtime after Chet Holmgren makes a three-pointer to tie the score at 117 in regulation with 1.7 seconds left on the clock. And that was tough. That was real tough because that was really about either a philosophical perspective on coaching, Steve Kerr deciding not to foul, or you can look at it from a different perspective and just say it was poor execution. Either way, there's no way the Warriors should have lost this game. And because Chet Holmgren was able to catch the ball, contort his shoulders, and line the ball up and put it in, you got to tip your hat to him. But this is a part of the journey, and if you are a Warrior fan, you got to eat this. You got to eat this because it happens. It happens. Sometimes you got to tip your hat to the opposition and move forward. The Warriors basically stole one on OKC's floor, right? The non-goaltend, if you will, by the Warriors late. But this was tough, and it was tough for a lot of different reasons that I'm going to get into. But I always like to do things that are difficult. This is a late night situation. People could just, exhaust themselves in their disappointment in the loss. So you can, turn on the internet, check out the Dungeon Show and actually talk basketball. And I like to do that because there's always a reason why. There's always a reason why things happen. And in the same breath, as much heat and deservedly so, as Andrew Wiggins has taken on his unbelievable effort tonight, I think we needed to come out and celebrate this brother because his defense has been solid throughout his horrible offensive play. But tonight, he awoke like a bear in a cave in Yosemite Park. 5 for 7 from 3. And it seemed like every three-pointer that he made was clutch. His defense was solid. And I think just kind of seeing Stephen Curry out there gave him the confidence to say, what the hell I got to lose? And he just let it fly. So I want to big him up, man, because that was pretty exciting. I mean, on a Saturday night, if you had the opportunity to be out at Chase, or even if you watch it on television, you got your money's worth. That was pretty spectacular. Let's get it started and go out and talk to my man Andrew the GOAT. He says, Frank Webb, that was very lucky tonight by the Thunder. As a hater, I'm going to say that. Okay, it's all good. They'll say the same thing to you about the Warriors win 2 weeks ago. That's how it is. We love to do that. All right, Matthew James says, this loss hurts, bro. Yeah, squandered an 18-point lead. Wiggins' big night, but lack of focus on both ends of the court. And Shea and Chet Clay took some terrible shots as well. Yeah, he did. Particularly the one in the corner. I'm sure you're talking about. Should have taken that shot. And if he had made it, obviously nobody says anything. But that was not a good shot. And that was unfortunate because Clay actually played a decent game tonight. But again, it's that, that inner Clay. We've all seen on television when we have, we've seen captions of, you got two sides. You got one person on the other side and somebody else on the other side. And it all comes down to who you're going to listen to. And Clay missed the shot. I mean, I didn't have a major problem with Clay tonight. I mean, the thing about Clay to me that's alarming is how his lateral quickness has decreased. He's not a sieve defensively because he has good fundamentals, but he cannot move laterally at all. And it's funny because when he makes a bad defensive play, Clay's never committed a foul in his life. Never. That foul that they called on him against Chet Holmgren, that was obvious. That was an obvious foul call. And, Clay had his hands out like, no, Clay, that's a foul, dude. But, he competed. They all competed. This was one that, let's be honest, a 22-6 run by OKC is what cooked the Warriors in the third quarter. I thought Steve Kerr should have used his timeouts. And he didn't. He let the run continue. And we're going to get into Kuminga as well, who was had a minus 18 plus minus tonight. He had a minus 18 plus minus. And, ironically, he made some plays. He went out and did Kuminga things. But like we've talked about in the past, it's his IQ. The Warriors don't have the rope that they had before where you can make X amount of bad plays and still recover from it. Kuminga just imploded when he came in early in the third quarter. And the only way you can combat that as a coach is to call timeout. And Kerr didn't do that. He should have called timeout or got Kuminga out of there. We could talk about that. This is a tough loss. Andrew the Goat says 6 L's in a row, all home games lost so far. What more do you need to see to show that this team is absolutely cooked and is not a title contender? I disagree with that, Andrew. I think that teams go through spells, man. This was one that got away. OKC took advantage of the Warriors' mishaps. But if you didn't look at the score and you just watched the game, you said, well, who played better? The Warriors played better. And then Gillis, Shea, and Chet, they took it over late. But I think the Warriors played well enough to win. They will win on most nights if they put forth this effort. But it still stings. And they had an opportunity to get above 500 if they won this game. And then they have Houston on Monday night, which is going to be tough. But I like to do things that are hard. I've never done anything easy in my life. Everything has been kind of challenging for me. So I want to see how this team recovers because it's tough. And from a coaching perspective, I want to see how Steve Kerr recovers. Because I'm going to talk about some things that I saw tonight that speaks to what happened in the last game. And I saw his coaching kind of evolve and change a little bit tonight based on, Thursday night's loss. So hang in there. Spencer says, Warriors aren't good. The best team in Cali is Sac. Right now, I would say you're right because Sac has an identity. The Warriors really don't have an identity right now. The Warriors don't have a solid rotation. I like the rotations a little bit better tonight, and I'm going to talk about that as well. And I think it started with the Warriors trying to shove Podzinski down the throats of their fans. Tonight, I actually liked his game in the first half. And early in the second half, he was okay. He made a lot of nice plays, and it's unfortunate the Warriors lost because it's tough to highlight the good things that he did in a loss, and he didn't finish real strong. But he looked like a reserve player tonight that I could appreciate, and I'm going to tell you why. My man Mark Graves, what's up, brother? We are 15 games in the season, a little premature to say they are cooked. Absolutely. I mean, you know, OKC is 9-4. OKC is not, you know, some vagabond team. No. OKC has 2 perennial all-stars on their team. If not this year or next year, in the next 5 years, you think that Chet and Shea aren't going to be on multiple all-star teams? This team is good, very good, and they got Giddey. You know, quietly, the Warriors wanted Giddey. You know, they would probably never say that, but they wanted Josh Giddey, and OKC took him 1 pick before the Warriors would have selected him, and then they had to take Moody. I mean, they had to take Kuminga, who is developing and evolving, and I said on Thursday night, I have no problem with where Kuminga is right now in his career. Based on his history, based on his knowledge of basketball, I see the growth, I see the potential, and you know, you're going to have nights like this where he just goes out on the court and he's playing strictly off of athleticism and not mental preparation, because he blew up. I mean, Kuminga did like 19 things wrong in about 30 seconds when the Warriors lost that lead. Bad fouls, consecutive turnovers, 3-point plays on the other side. It was abysmal. It was horrible. And I think in that situation, you got to use your timeouts. You have to. And I remember when I was just starting my high school coaching career, and you know, I had coached with the youth for a long period of time and had a lot of success. And the thing about young kids is they listen to you. High school kids, they don't listen to you as much. They don't. And you know, you'll give them a good play or you'll ask them to do something, say, yes, coach, I got it. And then they'll go out there and jack up a 3 and look for their cousin or their father in the stands. You're like, what the hell is this? It was one of those moments. And I remember when I would call timeout, I would spend a lot of time kind of, you know, chastising and addressing that act in the moment. And you blow the opportunity to redirect in the timeout. So that was my involvement as a coach. You got to move on to the next play. You got to deal with stuff like that in practice. And I think Kerr needed to coach against his tendencies tonight. Should have called timeout. You know, once they went on a 4-point run, the Warriors were up 18. It got down to 14. No. He needed to call timeout sooner. I think he's probably going to look at that and, you know, he ain't going to sleep well tonight. Let's just say that. Steve Kerr's not going to sleep well at all. Matthew James says, in order for the Warriors to win games, they have to win with the brains. I totally agree. Playing fundamentally sound basketball because we are an older team that lacks size and still trying to find our identity. Well stated. That was a great point. And I mean, look at the quality game they had tonight. Andrew Wiggins played extremely well. 5 threes, 31 points. Stephen Curry, 25. He played well. Chris Paul played an excellent game. His 3-point shot is coming back, y'all. And he's never going to shoot 40%. But, you know, he's been consistently throughout his career a mid to high 30s 3-point shooter. If he shoots 35% this year, I think that would be a success. But he had 11 assists, man. So, if you are a Warriors fan, and I assume that many of you are, this is a tough loss. This is really tough. Andrew the GOAT says, wasted Wiggins night. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mark Gray says, why weren't all Warrior players standing out at the 3-point line on Holmgren's game time shot. No reason to be anywhere else. Now, Mark, it's funny because before I came on air tonight, I was kind of replaying that particular play. And I kind of spoke to it a little bit at the start of the show, but I got on a tangent again. I tend to do that sometimes. And I didn't speak to the coaching point. Regardless of what your philosophy is, the Warriors should not have lost this game because of the point that you made. Either you foul on the catch, all right? You tell the official, listen, we're going to foul. As soon as he catches the ball, we're going to foul, all right? So that preps the ref, and they know that you're going to foul before they actually get the shot up. Go to the free throw line, hit one, throw it off the glass, well, game's over, all right? And Mark, this speaks to your point. This is a fundamental defensive coaching point. As a defensive alignment, all right, all you have to do is this. All 5 players, with the exception of the guy who's guarding the inbounder, you're jumping up and down trying to deflect the pass. Everybody just needs to stand on the 3-point line. There is absolutely no way that anybody should be outside of your body. Chet Holmgren had to not only get even with somebody, he had to go past somebody. It's inexcusable. But it happens. But yeah, your point, Mark, is spot on. If everybody is standing on the 3-point line or beyond, they're not making a shot. Unless, God has a uniform on tonight. And that happens. Let's go back to point 4. Derek Fisher against the Spurs coming off a drag screen, contorts his shoulders with point 4, throws it at the basket, and he goes in. That's why we love sports. That's why we love sports. But again, I talked to him Thursday about defensive alignment, right? Defensively, I don't think the Warriors are being coached very well. I don't. That play tonight should not have happened. If all 5 players are on the 3-point line, the only thing that the opposition can do is go inside your body. And even if it's 1.7 seconds left, the game is over. But if you're going to let somebody catch the ball, get even with you, and then find the line and shoot the ball? Now, the most inexplicable things happen in sports. It happens to everybody. It happens to every coach. I've had things that happen to me that I still shake my head at. My last loss in college, I still don't know how we lost this game. We're up 16 with 8 minutes to go, and we lost. How? But when I break the game down, I can tell you how we lost. It happens. The reason why I'm on air now is because I love talking to fans. I love to talk to people who are invested in this journey. And it is a journey. It's an 82-game journey. Man, Matthew James says, great analysis on how this game was played out. Spot on, bro. Tough loss. I was screaming at my TV. Would have loved to see us win. Steph sparked us with some energy, just couldn't finish it. Yeah, man. One of the highlights of my life is watching Stephen Curry play basketball. It might sound facetious. It might sound like hyperbole. No, it's not. I mean, I find joy. Some people might find joy going to clubs or having a glass of scotch or smoking a joint or whatever. I love watching basketball. I love it. Now, does it consume my life? No, it doesn't consume my life. I got far more other things that are important when I am doing those things. But as a student of the game, as somebody who knows basketball, to watch this guy play, I mean, he's coming off a knee injury. He looked as smooth as he did when he was 27 years old. Did he get a little tired late? Yeah, he did. Because late in the game, he didn't want some of those possessions because he was tired. And everybody gets it. But He had a good game. This all the way to me. Wiggins comes out and not put off, and not has another 31-point performance, 5 threes. But if Wiggins comes out on Monday against the Houston Rockets, who are going to be breathing fire, and has a good game, says he has 18 points and 8 rebounds, plays great defense, and Steph plays well. You know, the Warriors have an opportunity to kind of get on a bit of a roll to me. And roll doesn't necessarily equate to wins. It means playing good basketball. You know, that's what it means. Andrew says, I honestly won't be surprised if Mike ends up trading Chris Paul and Klay Thompson in the trade deadline, because I don't think Mike is happy with what's going on right now with the Warriors. I'm not going to disrespect Mike Dunleavy Jr. I'm not going to do it. I mean, he is a general manager. That's his title. But Steve Kerr has a lot of power over this team. Steve Kerr started his career as a general manager. He's one of the highest paid coaches in the league. There was some, not controversy, but there was some chatter about whether or not Dunleavy Jr. was even going to get the job. We thought it was a shoot yet, but he's learning. He's still learning. Part of the former Warriors' power and influence as a general manager, Bob Myers, was his communication skills, not his ability to necessarily go out and execute trades. He did that as well. But it was a respect that he had from the players. And I actually think that might be the most important thing, because you can kind of talk guys off the ledge. You can kind of talk them into certain things. So, I mean, it's tough seeing Klay Thompson in another uniform. Not Chris Paul. And again, everything that Chris Paul has done thus far to me has been a champagne glass to the sky. I mean, dude has been pretty good. He's been darn good. He's helped the young guys. He's played good basketball. But if he has an opportunity to be traded to the Lakers, the Warriors not going to do that. But if he could go play with LeBron, you think he would want to do that? With his family living in Los Angeles, his kids going to school, he would love that. He still would. But the professionalism that he has exhibited, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. I want to go back to Steve Kerr for a minute, because he got Moody off the bench early this game, even before Podzinski. I thought that was the right move. And although Moody didn't finish strong late, because he's not like a real initiator offensively. He's the kind of an opportunity guy that can rebound, stuff like that. I like the fact that he got minutes when you expect him to get minutes. And that was a good sign. I also, like I said, I really liked how Brad played tonight. I thought he made a lot of basketball winning plays. I don't like when he has the ball in his hand and he's trying to initiate action, because he doesn't have those skills yet. And I mean, I was shocked. And he had a minus 15 plus minus. I don't think he played that bad. I don't think he did. But I don't like when the ball finds him when he's on the court with Hall of Fame. Andrew the Ghost says the Warriors really need to start winning more games. I mean, it's 6-8. It's 14 games in. They need to win on Monday. Yes, they do. They need to win on Monday. I thought at worst the Warriors would be 4-2 on the homestand. They lost every game. So, I mean, the idea of this team being 6-7. I'm sorry. 6-8 after 14 games, getting off to a 6-2 start is really unfathomable. But it is what it is. And they're gonna have to play really good basketball on Monday night to beat a solid Houston Rockets team who, just like Mark, I think this point is made. You're right. Why wouldn't the Warriors play standing at 3-point line on home ground? Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I actually touched on that. Yeah, it was one of those tough things. And here's the thing about coaching and about being a fan. And this is why I love basketball. Coaches are not perfect. You know, they stand in, they sit down at podiums and reporters ask them questions and they're supposed to come out with these glorious answers. And that's not what life is about. Sometimes coaches screw up. Sometimes they make mistakes. And it's not all on Steve Kerr. I think that he was the most impactful person in tonight's loss. But it wasn't totally his fault either. Because again, as many of you have already stated, defensively, they didn't execute. There's no way in hell the Warriors should lose this game if all 5 guys are standing on the 3-point line. First of all, the ball's going to get tipped. If they got to throw the ball over your head to get it to someone who's on a 3-point line, he's probably going to be out of bounds, and you're probably going to tip the ball. I'm still scratching my head how they lost this game. I don't know how they lost this game. I mean, I saw it visually, but fundamentally, this was a terrible loss. This is god awful. It really was. And I'm gonna tell you how bad it was. The players, when Chet made that shot, the shoulders of the players just collectively dropped. It was almost like, wow, we got to play another 5 minutes. We got to win twice. With those old guys, with 35-year-old Curry, 38-year-old Chris Paul, I mean, let's just call Looney 35. Yeah, I know he's like 28, 29, but Looney is about 35. You know, I think by the time Looney if Looney can play 4 more years, I'd be shocked. You know, by the time he's 32, 33, he's going to be done. And that's okay. Came in the league when he was 19. 3-time NBA champion. You know, he'll probably have his jersey retired. You know, he'll be up there in the rafters. You know? So, yeah, this is a tough loss. We're going to continue to talk about this. I'm going to come on tomorrow night as well to kind of review the day in sports, NFL, and get you ready for Monday's game against the Houston Rockets. And, maybe you guys will, have some thoughts about how the Warriors can continue their, what I thought was a solid effort tonight, or express that you're not optimistic about Monday's game against the Houston Rockets. I want to talk about, just really quick, I want to talk about the Michigan Wolverines, who won a tough game against the Maryland Terrapins, against 29-24 to set up next week's battle against Ohio State. As recently as yesterday, Michigan decided that they would no longer contest Jim Harbaugh's group game suspension, and he's not going to coach next week against Ohio State. Their efforts to have an injunction to cancel or stop the ruling is now done. Their linebacker coach has since been fired, and I think we all knew that Michigan was cheating. And the only question that we had as intelligent people, as casual sports fans, is who knew what? How much did Jim Harbaugh know? I think at the end of the day, most of us believe that he knew something about the sign stealing scandal. I mean, the idea that he didn't know is far-fetched, but we live in a world, I think, that evidence does matter, and there's no evidence to say that he did. But clearly, the NC2A had some evidence to start making some connections. They had already made one with the linebacker coach that said that he had done some things allegedly to harm the investigation. But I think that we knew where this was going, unless Michigan found a favorable judge to cancel the suspension. So I think Michigan did the right thing. I mean, to not have the public uncover more embarrassment, just let it go. Now, next week's game is going to be tough. I think fundamentally as a football team, I think Michigan is better than Ohio State this year. And I think it comes down simply to what the quarterbacks have done. Now, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I mean, they were kind of shaky today. And Mike Locksley, the head coach of the Maryland football Terrapins, is an offensive guru, former offensive coordinator of the Alabama Crimson Tide. So he's a pro. He knows what he's doing. They have an excellent quarterback, Tua's younger brother, who can throw the ball. So I'm not surprised they put points up, and they literally came from a play or two from upsetting Michigan today. So we're going to talk about next week's game, Michigan versus Ohio State. Before we sign off tonight, you can do that. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's a lot going on tomorrow in the NFL. It's late. We'll have some time to talk about that. I'm looking forward to some of the college games that are coming up tomorrow. I haven't seen the UConn men play yet this year. I'm going to watch them tomorrow. And we can kind of get into the Colorado implosion, which is what it's turned into tomorrow. But I'll leave you with this. I'll just say this. It's disappointing to me because of the coaching. I said before, the Colorado season was torpedoed when Stanford came back against them after being down 29-0 in halftime. Emotionally, I don't care how big, how strong these 19, 20-year-old men might look. They can go out and conquer the world. Developmentally, they're not there yet. They're kids, particularly emotionally. And it's why the Woody Hayes of the world, the Bo Schembechlers of the world, the Nick Sabans of the world, year after year can galvanize teams and turn them into winners. It's because what they do, the Joe Paternos of the world, the Bill Walshes, although he didn't coach a lot in college, but like a Jim Harbaugh, they get kids to play above their talent level. That's coaching at the college level. Not so much at the pros every now and then, but at the college level, that is your job, to get people to believe and to be on board. The smallest inkling of dissension can turn worlds upside down. Even Deion Sanders replacing Sean Lewis as the offensive coordinator and giving those responsibilities to Fritz Shermer, who was a brilliant football mind, I thought was a mistake. Because what it did was shine the light on Sean Lewis and said, well, that's the problem. He wasn't the problem. He was not the problem. Any information, any knowledge that Shermer had, he could have conveyed that. He could have communicated that to Sean Lewis in practice every day. He's still on the staff. He's not making any more money now because he's calling the plays. And it took the emphasis off of Deion and off of Shador. I mean, I love Shador, but Shador does some things wrong that he needs to correct. Defenses have schemed him up. He's a tough kid. He's a tough guy, a lot of talent, but he has room to grow. SG, what's up, brother? And how's my night going? My night is going fantastic. So we were talking sports, and we just kind of touching on the Deion Sanders thing a little bit because it's a bad look, man. Now, do I believe in Deion? I do, because I think that motivation is a big deal. But I don't want to hear any more noise about him going somewhere else to coach. I don't think the University of Colorado can do any more to set him up, to show him that they want him to be successful. Yeah, he's making a lot of money, but everybody's made money. Get this team together, get this organization together. They got a lot of work to do because I can only assume there's going to be many changes from a coaching perspective. And that can go good or that can go bad. Some players are going to leave. So it's really about how far will they have to slip in the offseason to move forward. Because they got guys on the outside. You know, some of the skill positions, they have some of those players. They got to coach them up. I have not been impressed with the level of coaching at Colorado. I have not. Haven't. I mean, I don't see. I mean, the offensive line play. It's one thing for somebody to get trucked. All right, you can get trucked. That means somebody is going through your body. We see lanes like Moses in the Ten Commandments. You know, the parting of the Red Sea. Every play. I mean, how does this happen? How does that happen? I don't understand it. I don't. I mean, I'm watching Pac-12 football, and I'm watching all the other teams play, and it's not like that. And these are some of the teams that Colorado beat. SG says, I wish all the success and best luck moving forward, and hopefully you can get a lot of guests on your show. I like guests, and I'll have more. But I really like talking to people because your opinions, going on the premise that they are informed and well thought out, are just as important as somebody who might have a little more prestige or notoriety. I mean, it's good. I'll have guests, but it's the people that show up are the ones that I really enjoy talking to. I'm not a star hog. I don't really care about that stuff. The Golden State Warriors are struggling right now, and they get their 6th straight loss in a row against OKC Thunder. Yeah, we talked about it. And OKC is going to beat a lot of teams this year, but it's one the Warriors got to take on the chin. All right. I wasn't going to come on, but I wanted to come on because I think that there are people out there like me who wanted to talk through this loss and to actually find some solace in many of the positive things that transpired in tonight's ball game. I especially just wanted to come on air and give praise to Andrew Wiggins. Guy's gone through a lot. And to see him rise above the ashes and make Steph Curry-like plays, not one, not two, not three, I mean, multiple times, this dude stepped up and made big plays tonight. And that deserves some acknowledgement, and I wanted to do that. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't come back Monday and show some semblance of the player that he exhibited tonight. Build consistency. This is a tough loss. The Warriors lose 130-123 to the OKC Thunder. They now are 6-8. They close out the homestand on Monday against the Houston Rockets. The team has won at least 5 games at some point this year, and they are real good. So, we'll see what happens on Monday night. I'm going to do my thing and get out of here, all right? I'm Frank Red. This is the In the Dungeon program. And success in getting paid is a manifestation of the whole process. If you as an individual don't do things to help other people make their lives better, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't done nothing. Now, if you don't follow me on Twitter or X, just hit me up right there where it says @BigFrankRed. All right, follow me on X and I'll hit you back. And if you like the show, subscribe or hit the like button. It does help gain notoriety and get the show out there to people. I'm not someone who does a whole lot of promotion because I don't believe in it. If you like something and if you want to support it. So I'll leave it at that. All right. With that said, you guys be safe. And guys, meaning ladies and they and everybody listening. And I'll be back on tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So you can look forward to that. All right. Take care. Good night, everybody. Peace.